Kia ora koutou. It is winter time. We're also in a time of a lot of change and uncertainty, particularly if you're in the capital. And I know that a lot of conversations I've been having with people of late have been in that space of that nature. It makes sense, right? But because of our current climate, but particularly for this time of year. So I notice with myself that I almost get this, it's almost a natural, uncontrollable desire to hibernate, this need to turn inwards in winter, to stay home, to be warm, to be in bed by 9 o'clock. Mind you, that happens most of the year. Um, and when we look at nature, it does that. Nature has different rhythms depending on the season. So nature very much responds to the amount of light that's available and therefore energy that we have. And as humans, we don't. We run at a sprint pace pretty much all year round. And then when we get things like, winter bugs, there's a lot of them going around at the moment, a lot of sickness, illness, or this sense of just feeling tired because our days are shorter and the nights feel so long, feel like we think that's abnormal. We feel like there's something wrong with us. How many times so far this season have you thought, I feel really tired and I don't know why? I might be coming down with something. And maybe that's just a normal response to the change in seasons. When I'm walking through the city on the way home and it's kind of, 5 o'clock time now and it's getting dusk, all the little sparrows and the birds, they're all in their trees, tweeting away, getting ready to roost, kind of just telling each other about how their day's been or whatever they do in sparrow world. And they're all getting ready to go to bed. And of course, we're not even home at that point. We're only just leaving work, a lot of us. And so I feel like this natural rhythm that nature adjusts to preserve its energy and to kind of renew, ready for spring, we don't give ourselves the opportunity. And of course, in reality, our structures and our schedules are not like the sparrows. So we can't always have that opportunity. So what that leaves me thinking is, what can we do? What is in our control? Maybe it's going to bed earlier. Maybe it's getting outside more so we can get more sunlight and make up for the vitamin D shortage. Maybe it's the supplements that we have or the support that we reach for from others. Maybe it's that we need more self-care and more of those sustainability exercises in the winter. Maybe there are things that normally we find easy to do in summer, like going for a walk before work because it's light, not dark, we don't get to do in winter. So what's the replacement for that? Maybe it's a yoga class in the warm, inside, whilst it's still dark outside. What are the things that we can do with ourselves through winter? And I've got a few things to help get you through winter as well. Really exciting news. I've thought about it for a while, but it's finally happening. We have a podcast. So the Power Her podcast is aimed at women and non-binary leaders. So very much designed. I'll be chatting to, and I've already chatted to, some amazing, fabulous wahine who are sharing their wisdom, their knowledge. And it's all about how we can stand in our power. So how do we own our space and unlock our potential? What are some of their strategies, their top tips? Some really interesting kōrero in that space that I'm looking forward to sharing with you. So the Power Her podcast is now live. You'll find it on Spotify. You'll find it on Apple. You'll also find it on my website. So if you head to the media page, there is a link there to the podcast, which will tell you all about it, give you an opportunity to listen in. Episode 1 is already live. We have some amazing guests as well lined up for the podcast episodes that are coming thereafter. We also have the monthly Power Hour. So this is a space, it's a free space for female leaders to turn up and talk about what's going on for you right now. Ask me any questions and just share some experiences. It's a really valuable place particularly for women that are in a male-dominated environment, to actually come together in a group of women that they don't perhaps often get the chance to do and talk about the things that matter to us. It's been a really good space to have some of the kōrero around what's going on for me at the moment. What are the challenges that I'm experiencing? And is this the same outside of my workplace? Because when we start to mix from other people, from other industries, we start to get a broader picture. We start to get out of our lane and our bubble and appreciate what are the things that are the same and what are the things that are different in this space. So we will not be having a power hour in June because it's Matariki and we'll be having a public holiday instead. But I reckon it's a great opportunity, because it's Matariki, to be thinking about planning for the future, reflecting on the past. What are your successes up to date so far this year? What are your plans for the second half of the year? What does that look like as we enter the Maori New Year for you? And what are the goals that you want to achieve? And I reckon an important part of that is, what have you already achieved, right? What are the progress points you've made to date that it's important to acknowledge, so that we can then provide a foundation and a platform to build from for what we then want to go on to achieve. And of course, we've got a host of public events coming up, one of which is the annual retreat, which is always popular. We already have people from last year rebooking themselves for next year, and that will be in April 2025. There's an early bird special. So if you want to make sure you get a place on that, please do. It's a beautiful venue, beautiful environment, and some really impactful time and space for you, and some really good conversations, and obviously a chance for us to hang out together for the weekend in a beautiful space. Aside from that, lots of keynotes happening. So it's been great connecting with so many of you at various conferences and summits across the country. A few more of those happening over winter. So looking forward to that. Doing a lot in the space of the DEI space around belonging and allyship. That's been really new and exciting for me, as well as the stuff that we know works, the stuff around burnout to brilliance, the leadership development work, particularly in these times of change and uncertainty, and the new world, right? How the world is changing and how we keep up with that. So I'm looking forward to connecting with those of you that I'm booked to come and see over winter. There's a lot of other opportunities as well for you to get involved, either as an individual or an organization. So check out the website for more.